friends. I wanted to do something today with another material that I found that I had a lot of around my house, and that is a paper egg carton. This activity works best with paper egg cartons. You can do it with the foam, the styrofoam ones. It just might be a little bit harder to make it the color you want, but it will work. I'm going to use the paper ones for now. So what I'm going to show you is there's two different things. There are binoculars or goggles or glasses, depending on what you want to do with your activity, or there is a mask that you can put on and wear, depending on what you plan to do. So the first thing are the supplies you need. I'll put these guys right over here. You'll need paint or a marker, paintbrush if you're using paint, or you could use markers for it, would work just fine. Pair of scissors, an egg carton, string, or pipe cleaners, either one. Let's get started. What we're going to do is first, I will show you how to do the goggles. It's very simple. You can see that it's 2 of the egg cartons. So I will be cutting just 2 across right out, okay? So let's cut this apart. Then you're just gonna cut this point off, and you'll see that for the next one we'll leave that. And then you're just gonna kind of trim it up and make it look nice and even, like the edge is not one side's bigger than the other. Just kind of trim it around so that you have something that looks like this. That's it, okay? Now, before you do any of the other things, you're going to paint it. You're going to choose your colors and paint the whole thing on the outside. You don't need to paint the inside for this one. On the whole thing on the outside and let it dry, okay? So I'm going to start painting mine with green. Okay, now that I'm done painting, I'm going to let this dry for a minute. I used 2 different colors. I used a bluish and a green. I'm just gonna let that dry for a minute, and I'm going to show you how to cut out the one for the mask. And that way, while this is drying, you can get this one ready. And then this should be all ready to turn into your binoculars. Okay, so for the mask, it's the same thing. You're starting the same way. You're just going to cut off 2, but instead of cutting this piece off like we did, this like little beak nose thing, I don't know if you can see it, you're going to leave that on. And I'm just going to go across here, cut another one right off. So now I have something that looks like this, and it needs to be trimmed a little bit. So with my mask, I'm going to leave a beak, like a bird mask, and I'm going to just trim around the edges. Now I have what looks like bird eyes with a beak. Now before I do any other cutting, again, I'm going to paint this one, the colors that I want it, and then we'll let that dry. So I'm going to paint this one with my green again, and get started. This one you just have to paint on the insides. You don't really need to paint the outsides. The back will be left uncolored, so it's sort of the opposite of what you just did for the goggles. Okay, so now this one's all painted for the mask. I did a couple different colors, and so I'm going to let this dry, and we're going to go back to the binoculars or the glasses or the goggles, okay, to let this dry. So we're kind of switching back and forth. So here I have my goggles, and I can tell that they're drying right now, and it dries pretty quickly on this paper egg carton. So all I need to do now is put the 2 holes in the middle for the seeing part, cut out the middles, and then I just attach the pipe cleaners or string, whatever you want to do on the end. Now, to make the 2 holes in the middle, you just start by poking a small hole. You could use your scissors, you could use a pencil, a back of a pen. You could probably even use the back of your paintbrush if it's skinny enough. And you just start by putting a little hole right in the middle, just to get you started. Just pop it right through, one on one side and one on the other. And then just like I did here, you can cut out the middle so that you can see through. I'm just going to cut out that middle, and you can cut out as big as a spot as you want, depending on what you want to use these for. If you're just making goggles so you can see, you can cut the whole thing out. Or if you want to make like binoculars, then maybe cut out just a little, just the middle part. Okay, so now I have my centers cut out. So I'm almost ready. I have the little goggle part here. I just need to put a hole here and a hole here and attach the pipe cleaner. So again, the same thing, a pen or a pencil. You could even use a hole puncher if you had one, if you had enough space there, and just a little teeny poke. I'm gonna put this guy through, and I kind of loop them around like this and then just twist it. All right, so let's move on to the next one so we don't run out of time here. I think we're dry. Our bird eyes here, our mask is looking pretty good. Now, before we cut out the middle in these, I just kind of made it look like feathers by cutting the edges apart to make it look a little more decorative. So all you have to do is make little cuts. So once you've cut these and you have them all, you just kind of bend them back to give them a little ruffle, make them look like they're feathers that are coming out like that. So there I have my bird mask all ready to go. I just need to cut the holes in here and then also in the side for the string to go around. I have my 2 little eye holes, okay? There was a couple things you could do with this. You could also use the pipe cleaners. You could use a string to make a strap around the back, or you could even take like an old pencil or a pen or a straw, and you could glue or tape it to your mask so that it just is a one of those little masks that you just hold up on a stick like that. So there's lots of different ways you can do it. With this one, I chose to do a little strap around the back. So if you're doing it, it's exactly the same as you did with the other one. 2 little holes, poke on either side. And then I'm going to put the end of this string through and then tie a knot so it doesn't pull back out of the hole. And then I'll just go around and poke a hole on the other side and do the same thing. Okay, and once you have it on attached on the other side, you are all ready to wear your mask.